So I want to talk about something that is deeply personal, but I think it matters for all of us. Many of us think that we need to impress other people, and it's sort of built into how we are and what we think about it. We think that we need to have other people sort of, be proud of you. And I think that this is inherently being human. We think that other people are going to look up to you and that there's going to be some sort of status bestowed to you whenever we do things. But I really need to let you know that this is it's a really sort of toxic view of the world. And there's two reasons to this. The first one is that other people are never ever going to be proud of you because they have their own insecurities. They're dealing with a lot of crap themselves. And then the other thing is that if you're looking to make other people proud, and you know that or the simple fact that other people are not going to be proud of you because of their own insecurities, that means that you're always going to be seeking, and you're never going to get there, and you're never going to feel like you're satisfied and that you're good enough. And I think that this is a super important thing that we forget, and we think that the world should sort of I don't know. I don't know. I think we're all sort of striving, especially us that are, goal oriented and those kind of things. We're striving to get someplace, and yet it's so painfully hard to actually get there. And once we actually get to where we're going, we don't quite get there because it changes, and people are never really quite proud of who you are. Because they're dealing with their own stuff. So, by the way, if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Massack. I'm an Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out, but I wanted to pay the favor for it to help you out. So it's really, this is a lot of my own personal experience, but also understanding a tremendous amount of psychology and sociology. Economics has it kind of wrong in how they view the world, that we are building and gaining some sort of utility, and the more that we achieve, the more utility that we get. But, that perspective doesn't equate in the real world after a certain point, because there are part of the utility that we get is due to other things going on around us and how people make you feel. That's a really big part of it. And, as a sociologist would sort of point out, it's the status that you get. It's going to the next class, to the next level that we actually achieve. We have these feelings of sort of success, but those feelings are so temporary. They disappear because you get there. It's very difficult to move classes. In fact, it's probably one of the most sort of difficult things that you're going to go through in terms of the uncertainty that you feel and the amount of, just the anxiety that you feel, because it makes other people feel bad. They're in your social class, whatever that looks like. If you break out of that social class, it's like opening up the kimono. I don't know if you've ever heard of that saying, but it's like having people, you're revealing all of the weaknesses and shortfalls and all those kind of things with your quote-unquote class, whatever that might be. And so it's a really difficult process for other people to see this, because it reflects on them and then they start making you feel bad. And it's a very real experience when you go through all of this, is that people do put you down. And it's not because of what you're doing like good things. It's because they're reflecting on themselves, and they're wondering, well, how come I couldn't do this? And I think this is a fundamental reason why people don't push themselves, especially later on in their career. They're afraid of what other people are going to say and what they're going to do, and all of those kind of things kind of keep you into that one little thing. So, you might have worked at my dad worked at a pulp and paper mill for 48 years, I think, many years. But, he provided an amazing man. But for him to realize, I don't think he finished high school. I think he stopped at grade 11. Actually, I'm confident, like 100%, he stopped at grade 11. And, for him to go back to school when he was 45 years old, after he did all of this, or even 50 years old, to say, hey, I'm going to start learning some new things, it was catastrophic. Like, literally catastrophic. He would have had a nervous breakdown if he would have done that. And I don't think people understand how challenging that is. It's because you have to sit and admit the stuff that I believe, the things that I've gone through, that they're not always the way that it is. And it takes so much humility to be able to do that. And so much of people making fun of you, like all of those things, is so very real. So it's not about just moving up, and it's not just this like clear cut, I'm gonna move up and I'm gonna make all this money because all that kind of, it's not what happens. There is classes, or social status is probably the better rule, the better sort of view of it, and those things are really incredibly hard to breach and to move out of, and it means omitting a lot of things, and we need to start thinking about that seriously. If you're doing these kind of things and you are thinking of somebody's going to be proud of you, they're not. They are going to be that they're going through the fight or flight response. I've talked about this a lot, in social. People have this fight or flight response, and it makes them feel, either they're going to get aggressive at you, and be really aggressive at you, like start coming after you and calling you things. That's why we're starting to see all of this unusual behavior in the last few years. It's 2021. People are anxious. They have a lot of anxiety, and so they act out in really weird ways. And they have they attack people that they think that they're somehow better than them. That's why I personally think that's why that there's a huge part of people being afraid of science and scientists and doctors and stuff. They don't want to listen to those those ideas because they're afraid. Then there's a whole bunch of people that, and I'm more on this. This is definitely what I do. Is I hide, and I don't want to hear about those kind of things. And I want to remove myself from the situation. So you're going to get that as well, right? If you're moving up and you're doing things and you're trying to sort of better yourself, you are probably going to get people that just don't want to talk about it with you, or they will never ever go there. And that's, if you've experienced this, and I know a lot of people have, this is very real human emotion, being really human. You're gonna go through those experiences, and know that, just have confidence when you're doing it, and it's not you that's doing this, it's them. And you have to figure out a way to deal with this and process it in such a way that it's a weird experience for all of us. and you just have to be sympathetic, have some empathy for them dealing with these things, because it's reflecting on them. And I know it sounds arrogant when I'm saying this. I know exactly I know it, but it's very real. And you're going to experience this if you're doing anything that is moving up, whatever that might be looking like for you. Just know that just be kind when you're doing it, and know that you're going to have to go through a lot of stuff before you actually can quote unquote move up in this world. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I think it's an important thing. Just, if you're seeking to make other people proud, it's never going to happen. And, if you're trying to do it for somebody else, it's just not going to happen. It's got to be because you want to do it and you're okay with doing it yourself. So that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Have a good one. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.